everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I've got a good one for you. We're going to talk about how to use steam on your synthetic fibers in order to bring them back to life, revive them, restyle them, fix them, just basically everything you can use steam for. So stick around for that, but before I dive into it, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. Okay, I know that this is going to be a video that a lot of you are going to appreciate because when many moons ago when I discovered steam for synthetic wigs, it was life-changing. I think a huge misconception with synthetic wigs is that once they, get frizzy or just look a little bit ragged, people are like, oh, time to toss it in the garbage, can't use it anymore. But that is not true. You can do so much with steam to give your wig more longevity so that it lasts you a lot longer. So I'm going to be showing you guys several different ways that you can use steam on your synthetic wigs. Now, just know that this is for synthetics. You can use this method on heat-friendly synthetic options, heat-defiant synthetics. But for those ones, I prefer using actual heat like a hair straightener, a blow dryer brush, those kinds of things. For actual synthetics, just plain synthetics, not heat friendly, you cannot use just dry heat on it. It has to be wet heat, which is why a steamer works well for just synthetic. So again, this method could be used on both synthetics, but it's preferable and necessary for just plain synthetics. Okay, and just a disclaimer before I get started, I don't want anyone to hurt or burn themselves. Steam is hot, obviously. So before you actually use steam, do not steam your head. Like, do not put the wig on your head and steam it because you will burn yourself. I definitely recommend getting yourself like a canvas blockhead. You can get these very easily on Amazon. There's a lot available. They come in a form. I just have the one where you clamp it to your table. They also can come with like a stand, which I actually would like to get for myself. I think I would prefer that better. I always have a hard time finding a table around my house that I can actually clamp it to. But get a blockhead. It's really great for styling and of course for steaming your wigs. They're just really handy. So you can get these on Amazon. So these come in different sizes in terms of like how big they are. If you're typically an average sized wig wearer, then I would suggest getting a size 21 or 22. I have a 22, it says 22 on it. But I wouldn't go bigger than that because then you're gonna stretch your wig around it and then you're gonna stretch your wig out. So you don't want that. Okay, and one more thing before we begin. Before you use your steam, I would recommend actually giving your wig a wash, a good wash to just get all those impurities out, make it nice and fresh. It makes it just a bit easier to work with. And then after you've washed it and it's dried, make sure you detangle it so that it's just the easiest to work with as it can be. I have done a video on how to wash synthetic wigs before. I will link it below. So if you're unsure, you can go see that video, check it out so that you have all the steps in order. Okay, let's get to it now. So the other day I actually posted a video on this short form video on Instagram, and it was kind of a quick little spiel and demonstration about how to do this. But of course, I'm going to make it a bit longer here on YouTube for you so I can sort of talk through it a bit more and give you a little bit more information. So the first way we're going to talk about using steam on your wig is if you have a wig where the hair is flopping in front of your eyes and it's just only wanting to come forward into your face. So if you have your wig and it's all the fibers coming in front like this, that's really annoying, right? And that happens a lot to new wigs when you get them out of the box. A lot of them just want to fall forward. So whenever it falls forward, it tends to give you sort of a V shape here and it tends to look a little bit unnatural. So the goal is to get the fiber to go up and off of your face. And steam is really good for that because what the steam does is it almost like resets the fiber. It almost re-melts it to go in a different direction and it trains it to go in the way you want it to. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get some clips. You're gonna bring your hair back and clip it back and away from your face like so on both sides. See, this is why I need a stand. I'm like hugging a little baby here. That's okay. We'll hug my little head baby. Get those clips in. Oh my goodness. Should have done this on my head first. Okay. Clips are in. I would put this on a table, but the lighting is not great. So I'm just gonna do this here until I get to a step where I need like 2 hands because the lighting is just much better here. Okay. Once you have them clipped back, you're gonna take your steamer. You can use a clothing steamer, fabric steamer, or there are like specific wig steamers. But at the end of the day, they do the same thing. They just provide steam, and you can use either one of them because that's all we need. We just need steam. So I have a fabric steamer. This is just from Amazon. Honestly, like any steamer will be just fine. Okay. The most important thing you need to make sure you're not doing when you're using a steamer is holding it in one spot for too long. Make sure you're always keeping the steam sort of moving, and that's gonna make sure you're not gonna melt the fiber. And especially when you have lace, like this is a lace front, when you have lace, you don't wanna warp the lace either. So this is gonna help just make sure you're not gonna ruin those fibers. So make sure it's always moving and don't hold it too close. So always move it, keep the steam on it for a little bit. So that steam right now is redirecting the fibers to go back instead of forward. Okay, now that you've done that for, I don't know, 20 seconds, I don't know, it's kind of different for me every time. The next most important thing you need to make sure with steam is that it has to cool set. So in order for anything that you've done to your synthetic wig with steam, anything you've done with the steam, you have to cool it down before you release it into the wild and let it work its magic. So we need to let this sit here. I would suggest for at least 10 minutes for this so that it cools and sets and wants to go that way. If you release it too soon, it's just gonna come back and face flop again. So we're gonna leave this for about 10 minutes and then I'm gonna come back to you. Okay, I am back. I've let it sit for a bit, and now that I've done that, I can take out these clips, 1 and 2, and now the hair is going to be trained to go back. Well, it's not going to go straight back, of course. We've overtrained it so that it's going to see how this just naturally fell forward. Well, not forward, sideways, I guess. And another great thing about this is that it also gives it a little bit of a lift in the front. So that's also another perk to doing this. Look at that. So it's no longer flopping in the face. It's going to be pushed to the side and give it some extra lift. Okay, I'm gonna put this wig back on because we're gonna talk about a second way that you can use heat on your synthetic wigs. Or sorry, not heat, steam. You don't wanna use dry heat, don't use dry heat. Okay, the next way that you can use this is to change your part. Now, the thing about synthetic wigs is that your fibers are sort of trained to go in a certain way. And when you try to change that, it doesn't always let you. So let's say you have a center part like I do, or maybe you have a left part or a right part, or just a part you don't want anymore. You can change the part. Now the reason you'll be able to change the part is if you have a full monofilament top like I do. So I have a full monofilament top that allows you to change the part. So this is typically for these types of wigs. Sometimes you can change the part though if you have a permatease top. It kind of depends. But typically this would be done for a monofilament top. Okay, I've changed the part and it's not sitting properly. These fibers are kind of coming forwards because they're still wanting to come back to where they were. They're not gonna sit exactly where I want them to sit. So we use steam to help us fix this. So get the part situated that you want. So I'll put it here on the right side. And then again, I am going to sort of clip the hair or the fibers back here like so, like that. So I'm gonna kind of clip it down and then I will put it on my blockhead because again, you don't want to burn yourself. Okay, so girlfriend is on the blockhead, ready to be steam styled. So where's my steamer? Here it is. We're gonna take the steamer, turn it on, get the steam going, and then you're just gonna steam at the part line. Remember, you're not gonna keep it in one spot for too long. You wanna keep it moving so that it's not gonna melt the fiber. So keep it moving. Do this for, I don't know, 20 seconds or so until you feel like there's been enough steam on that part line. Okay. Now, like I mentioned before, the next important step is to let it cool. So I'm gonna let this cool for about 10 minutes and then I'm gonna come back to you. Okay, it has been about 10 minutes. I think she is ready to be taken out of her clip. Ugh. And I will put her on. You can already tell that she now wants to sit this way instead of falling forward a bit more. I will put her back on. And there she goes. Now she wants to go to the side. So far we have learned how to steam it to bring the hair up and away from your face, and we've learned how to steam it to change your part. The next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna grab a different wig. Let's say you have a wig like the one I have here. This is January by Jon Renau. January, when it first comes to you out of the box, it has really nice defined wave curl things. I've had this wig for many, many years. These waves have dropped a ton. They are not very lively. They become more lively when I add product to it, but overall, they're pretty flat waves. So what you can do is use steam to sort of recurl it or restyle it. Now, this is something you can do, of course, also. Let's say you have a straight wig like this one and you want to add curl to it. You can just take your straight wig and do what I'm gonna do here. So in this case, I just want to add a little bit more curl to it, make the curls a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna start by taking a smaller chunk. Keep in mind that this will be a process that will take you a little bit longer because you have to do it curl by curl. Roller by roller. So I am grabbing this roller here. This is just a Velcro roller. Hold on, I'm gonna roll this up down here because I just don't have enough hands. So you're gonna take a roller. I have a Velcro roller. You could use a like a foam roller, that could work too. And of course, any size would work. Just whatever size you want your curl to be. I think these are like 1.5 inch size here. Okay, so I've rolled my curl. You would do this, you know, as many rollers as you have all over the place. One thing to keep in mind, see how my curls, the hair or the fiber is not on top of each other, because if it's on top of each other, when you steam it, your steam isn't necessarily going to get through to the bottom layer of the curl. So you're going to want to sort of separate it as best you can in order to get the steam to as much of the fiber as you can. Okay, once you've rolled as many rolls as you have, you take your steamer, get that steam going, and you're going to steam all over the roller. Get to as many places as you can. This one, of course, you could even put the steam inside to sort of get the steam on the inside of the curl. So you're going to do this for, I don't know, 20 to 30 seconds, but of course, make sure your steamer is always moving and not staying in the same spot for too long. Okay, I think that's probably good. Now, of course, we need to let this set. Now, for the other ones, I let them set for 10 minutes. However, with curls, I find it works better when you let them set for longer. Ideally, if you want to let them set overnight and cool down and sort of hold that style overnight, that is going to be your best option, and that is going to give you the best results. Something I've been doing lately, which is, it's funny because I live in a really, really cold city. Right now, today, it's like minus 34 degrees Celsius, which is like, oh my Lord, it's so cold. But what I've been doing is if I've been steaming something, I'll steam it and then I'll go outside and I'll just like hold my little wig head outside, or I'll just like plop my wig out on the porch for a bit and let it like super cool. So what I'm gonna do, since I don't want to be here all night, I'm gonna go and put my wig outside for a couple of minutes, and that's gonna really cool it down. Or I wonder, I mean, if you don't live in a cold place, maybe you could go put your wig in the freezer or something. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go put it outside and I'm gonna come back and show you how this has set into a beautiful curl, because look at, these are just so droopy. They're lifeless. This is gonna bring a little bit more life back to these curls. Okay, I am back from the outdoors. And man, it's cold out there. I just kind of let girlfriend sit out there for a few minutes. Poor thing. She needed a coat, but she was busy working. So now I'm gonna take this roller out. Sorry, this Velcro roller, sometimes they are a little bit tricky. Okay, sorry, I know you can't see this. Okay, it is out. Okay, it is out, and now we have this much more defined curl going on here. So that, like I said, it is a bit tedious to do all over your wig, but if you sit one night, put a bunch of rollers in, steam it, let it sit, it could be a fun little project for you. Okay, my last way to use a steamer is probably gonna be the most used way and the most valuable to the most people. And that's going to be to revive your fibers, especially at the ends, or to straighten out your wig. So synthetic wigs, over time, they get frizzy and frazzly and fuzzy at the ends, and they just start looking icky and dry. And this is the time when people are like, okay, time to toss my wig in the garbage. But no, this is how you can bring your wig back to life. Let it have some more time with you before you completely get rid of it. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your blockhead, take your wig, and stick your wig on your blockhead, and you're gonna need a fine tooth comb, which I will get in 1 second, and your steamer. So this process is going to make these frizzy ends. So this one's not horrible, but at the same time, do you see how it's a little bit like poofy down here? I want it to be a little bit less poofy and more smooth. So this is gonna help smooth out your fibers, get the frizz out, or it's gonna help you straighten it. So just keep in mind that when we do this, whatever style you have in it, it's gonna either lessen it or take it out. So for example, this one, see how the ends are a little bit flippy? When I steam the ends, it's gonna straighten them out. So what you could do is put like a roller in the end after you've steamed it to kind of give that shape again and steam it again just at the ends. But right now I kind of want to have her straight. So I'm actually gonna take you into my bathroom now where I can clip her to the table because I need 2 hands for this one. Okay, hi. We are in my bathroom now. I have my wig on this clampy table thingy. I told you need a fine tooth comb, all hunchy, and you need your steamer. Okay, so like I said, this is either gonna straighten your wig or it's going to get rid of all of the fuzziness and frizziness out of the end of your fibers. So it's really important to make sure you have this detangled just to help make sure that wide tooth comb is going to go through it smoothly. The reason I have a wide tooth comb is because it's also really important to make sure the fibers are being pulled as tight as you can and you're guiding them in a straight way while you're steaming it. So I'm going to turn on my steamer and I'm going to start combing through and following behind with the steamer. Again, making sure you're not holding it in one place for too long because then that will melt it. So we're following along with the comb and steaming it. And this is gonna get rid of the frizzies, but it's also gonna make it straight. So you can see kind of here where it's sort of straightening out. And it's just gonna make your fibers feel so much nicer, so much smoother, and it's just gonna be a game changer for you. Okay, so I'm not gonna make you watch me do this whole wig, but essentially you're just gonna go through your whole wig. If you have a style in this that you don't wanna ruin, then make sure you're sticking just to the ends. Just stick right to the ends. And then of course you can always try your best to restyle it with some rollers after to give it more shape. But I'm gonna go through this whole wig so we can see how it gets rid of all the frizziness. Okay, I am back. I finished steaming actually half of it because I wanted to show you the difference. So I steamed my left side and I didn't steam my right side. I don't know if you can see sort of the fluffiness on my right side that I didn't touch and more of the smoothness. I'm gonna come closer. So this is the fiber now that it's steamed. Look how straight it is. You don't see any frizzies anywhere. But if I show you this side now, they're just fuzzier. I don't know if you can see the frizzy and fuzzy. Again, this wig in particular, it's not the worst in terms of frizziness. I've had much worse, but it's still not perfect. So just in comparison, this side is gonna have those little frizzies everywhere. This side is just all straight. And I'm just telling you, I know you can't feel it, but it just feels like a new wig. It just feels so good. And this side just feels, blah. It just feels icky and poofy. So even if you feel like your wig isn't that bad, steaming it is gonna make it feel way better. And you might not even know you need the steam. Okay, and watch the difference how I run my hands through this side. Watch how nice and smooth that was. And I'm gonna run them through this side. And even though I've detangled, they're still getting stuck. But this side is steamed and detangled, and oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I could keep talking and telling you how amazing it is, but steam is amazing. Okay, I think I have shared as much as I can think of right now in terms of steaming your wigs. If you have any more questions, feel free to put them below. I hope this video was informative and helpful to you. I know that trying to fix your wigs and use heat on them, it's a really scary thing because wigs are not cheap things. You don't want to ruin it, and it's, you know, it's a little scary. But all I'm saying is you just kind of need to go for it. Hopefully that me showing it to you here gives you a little bit more confidence in knowing that you can do it too, because it is really easy. I think one of the most important things for you to remember is just to keep the steamer going so that it's not staying in one spot, because then that's gonna like warp the fiber and make it melt too much, and you don't want that. So just keep the steamer moving. As long as it's moving, you're gonna be totally fine, I promise. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned that the wig I'm wearing right now is Elle by Jon Renau in the color Mist. Did I mention that? I don't know. If I did, then you get to hear it again. If I didn't, then here you go. All right, with that, I'm gonna let you skedaddle and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me here on my channel. I truly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.